During the winter months, prairie gardeners often find themselves reflecting. We think about who we are and where we come from, and all the people who've touched our lives. It's a rich moment when dreams and memories roll into one. Welcome back to Twilla and Jillian.
I love gardens. I actually remember the first garden that I discovered.
Yeah.
I grew up in Yorkton, Saskatchewan, a small city in Saskatchewan, and my street was Logan Crescent, and it ran right on the edge of Yorkton. And I was on the side that, the rest of Yorkton is behind me. And then on the other side of the street, it was just kind of open. And there was a few places, it was back in the day when you were a kid, you rode your bike and you went everywhere. So when I'd be at my friend's house on the other side of the street, I'd make my way home, but this one day I went the back way, I went behind. And I just there's Farmer's Field, there's way down the way is the junior high, but anyway, I found this site, came across this kind of square of land with trees on the outside. And then it was very lush inside, lots of greenery. I guess it was like a windbreak, right? But inside something was there. I can't remember what it was. I remember asking somebody about it in my adult life, but I can't remember. But anyway, nothing there now, no building. Yeah. But someone had a garden there. Yeah. So I went in there, and there was lilies growing in amongst the little shrubs and the native plants, right? There was lilies growing and some columbine and some things that were perennial and left over from this garden. And because it was this little oasis and lots of blooms, there was insects, right? Yep. Lots of bees, butterflies. It was time of year when there was lots of dragonflies. Yeah. And I remember thinking, this is magic. Yeah. This is a magic place. And so that's where I first had this sense of love for being in a garden or finding a garden.
Yeah, in awe. Yeah. Mine would be, so I grew up on a farm between Gibbons and Rodwater, and my grandparents lived across the road, and we did a lot of we picked high brush cranberries and we went mushroom picking and all of that kind of stuff. So I always grew up with a vegetable garden, and my other grandmother always had flowers and a big garden. So that was just kind of a norm. So my first sense of magic, I would say, is when we went to Bruderheim, and we went into the sandhills, and underneath the lodgepole pine trees and the spruce trees, you would find lady slipper orchids in the ditches, lichen and moss and mushrooms, and it would be hot outside, but once you were in there searching for the mushrooms, you were in this place where it was just silvery lichen and shade and lady slippers and mushrooms. And so just that really crazy little natural world where there was birds and a canopy, and you're just wow. Yeah. That was my sort of first sense of awe, I think, as well. Yeah. And then just always being connected to that's where I feel at ease, right? And you and I have chatted about this quite often, where life is pretty hectic, and you're busy and you're sorting out things constantly. But when we get into our own little spaces that we've created, how time does just slow down. Yes. Right? Yes. And that you're disconnected.
Yeah, it's it slows down, but it's also eaten up. The bad awareness of time. Yeah. Not bad. I hate to talk about it in a binary way, right? That awareness of time that is pressurized. Yeah. It just gets eaten up. Yeah. Yeah. I love that.
It just flies. Yeah. Right? You're oh my goodness, all of a sudden the sun's going down. And you haven't even necessarily moved too much further from the spot that you'd originally started. Yeah. Right? Right. And our friendship grew in the garden. Yes. Right?
That's very true.
Yeah. Yeah. I mean, I always admired. So I think when you and I first got together and were okay, let's do this. And we were sitting in the studio, in your drum studio, and we were making all of these notes. And I think there's right at the beginning, I don't even know if it's on the Twilla and Jillian Instagram page, where we were reflecting on the first moments where we had seen each other. And I remember, so way before you guys before we met, my son was a little guy, and you two had come to do drumming. I don't know if it was for Canada Day, I think, in Fort Saskatchewan.
Yeah, something like that.
Something like that. And my little toddler was drawn. He'd gone through the whole thing and gone right, it actually brings tears to my eyes, gone, oh, I don't know why. Okay, anyway, sorry. But because he's not a little boy anymore, right? You guys have seen him grow. Anyway, so how he just toddled through that crowd and was just so mesmerized by the two of you. And I remember looking and just like, wow, this is a powerful duo. And I remember just like being mesmerized by you and like, this woman is so strong and magical, and look how she's keeping pace with this man, and just the athleticism and everything. And then just these random, and then you guys came to Greenland, and I'd seen you once before there, and then I'd brought an RK to your play.
Yeah.
Right?
Yeah.
And then so there's like all these little things, these dots that did eventually connect. And then I was like, I wanted to do that one little tour, and I was like, I'm going to go visit Twilla and Greg. We hadn't even quite known each other. And I was like, and then that was just instant. And I was like, we're doing this.
Yeah.
There was just, it was from not knowing you, but seeing you. And there was just something to do with RK2 just being pulled. Like, it was just that moment where he was just pulled to the stage, and just recognizing an incredible woman doing incredible things, and this energy that you have that is like, it's just so neat and admirable and cool, and that it's continuing in different forms, right?
Mm-hmm.
It's in the garden, and it's on your travels, and it's in your drumming, and it's in your performances. I feel just quite amazed to be in your light often.
Oh my gosh.
Yeah, it's cool. It's very cool. I don't know if that's why that went that direction. I'm sorry, but
no.
but it's neat.
That's very, very kind of you.
Yeah.
I remember the first time I saw you.
Yeah.
I was working at Greenland for that one season, and I was in trees and shrubs, and you were inside. Yeah. But it was a busy day, and so sometimes you would have to come out and help.
Yeah.
And I was, I was with the customer, I was shadowing somebody who was with the customer, and I saw you come out. Yeah. And you were wearing these fabulous overalls and a cheerful shirt and this gorgeous sun hat with a flower on it, and you were showing someone a hydrangea, and just the way that you picked it up, like, you loved that hydrangea, and you were so enthusiastic about it, and I could just tell that. I was like, that's it. That's who I want to hang out with. That's. I want that in my life. Yeah. And we're like, I don't know how we're gonna get to there, but we did. Yeah. But it was just cool. I recognized, I guess, a kindred spirit. A creative person, and
It's, what's really great about gardening too is connecting with those people.
Yes.
Right? And touring those spaces. And we have been very fortunate to have toured a lot of gardens together and connected with some very special people.
Yes.
And been mentored by really incredible gardeners and people as well, right?
Yeah.
Yeah.
I know. It's like you have said to me before in conversation that when you visit a garden, within the gardener is revealed. Mm-hmm. So we've definitely had that experience, and we've lost some mentors. Like obviously Bob for one, who we made 3 videos with. Mm-hmm. I didn't know Bob that well, but he was someone I was looking forward to as a new friend. And later in life, you don't have as many like new friends come in. Mm-hmm. So his loss was it hit me hard, actually.
I think the community, it hit a lot of the community. People are still discussing it. And what's amazing about him is that maybe not necessarily his garden, he's got a new family in his garden now. It will change, but the work that he did and all of his dedication throughout the years, he changed the face of many of Alberta's gardens. So his legacy will continue in all of the plants and the different things that he brought to Alberta and Alberta gardeners. So that's pretty amazing for sure.
Yeah. Yeah.
He taught me everything I know. he was my very first. That was my first job. Was working with him in the perennials at Hulse. So
I remember like on the one summer that I worked at Greenland, I hadn't been on the job very long.
Yeah.
And he just came out and he said, I want one of these purple spire crabapple trees, and he said, I want you to pick it for me.
Yeah.
And I was like, okay.
Yeah, people were kind of starstruck by him, actually, right?
Yeah. When I got to choose it, so I chose one and I put a tag on it for him, and he came on it, and I was like, "Is this okay? Is this okay?"
Yeah.
He's like, "Good job."
Yeah, and he mentored people like Joseph Goubois, who is like I think is an incredible gardener and like so passionate about so many things, and worked alongside Tina Burback. Like, there's just a huge. The community is. I don't know. I'm learning so much. Like, there's a ton of gardeners throughout Edmonton and Alberta and Canada. Yeah. We're very, very, I think people think of us as like just the prairies and kind of bald, and it's very harsh and all of that stuff. But we make it happen. We make it happen.
That's whole thing. Like, May long weekend, 18 weeks and counting. I think it's 18 weeks, but like it's just like whoosh, we make it happen. Yeah. Yeah. People are very, very passionate about gardening here in Alberta and across Canada. Yeah. For sure. I remember I guess it's of course our grandparents, because they were still gardening for a lot of food at that point in time. Yeah. But I remember I grew up in Yorkton, and both my sets of grandparents were in this little hamlet outside of Yorkton called Dunleith. And my grandparents on my mom's side moved into Yorkton when I was about 4, 3 or 4, something like that. Young, very young. And I remember going to the new house, and it was like a fairy tale to me, because the house was like a white stucco with red trim. And there was a red picket fence around the edges of it. And then both sides of the front yard was crabapple trees. Yeah. But we came kind of in springish. And we didn't know what was planted in the flower beds. And I remember it was again, like magic, because there were massive established peonies that came up. Oh, wow. And then the whole side was hollyhocks, right? Massive hollyhocks. And I remember my Baba was so excited because the back was the little sidewalk, and then the garden, and then the plum tree kind of midway through. But in this little thicket where the plum tree was, I remember she got real excited, and she popped out from there, and because they had asparagus growing. Oh yes, yes. So she didn't know. So she was like, oh. So that was the big. It was like secret. Yeah, the asparagus was growing there. And you just as a kid blossoms, right? Yeah. Like peonies. Yeah. Did they even seem real? Like so just big. These ruffly balls of color. Yeah. And you always took a bouquet to your teacher. Yep. In the elementary Pussy school. Willows in the spring. Yep. All that stuff. Yeah. We always had that was our hopping on the bus with a bundle of pussy willows with the Scott towel and the tinfoil around the bottom. That's how we kept all of the bundles of flowers fresh for the teachers. I remember there's other things later in life. When I finished theater school, I got to be the gardener for one of my mentors, Professor Tom Peacock, who like any Edmonton area actors in Canada know Tom. Yeah, he was incredible leader and mentor to many, and I was his gardener for a few seasons and got to know him. And I feel like he saw the gardener in me. Like I had already worked in a greenhouse when I was younger as a summer job or whatever. Yeah. But he saw the gardener in me, and he let me just do what I wanted in his yard a lot of the time. And I used to, and if they went away, he'd come back, he got me this T-shirt that was this lady with hair like me and a big hat, and it said, "She Who Gardens." So he saw it, Yeah. But I remember he had massive hostas in his garden. So when I see my hostas, I always think of Tom, and he was all about begonias, fibrous begonias, pots and pots of fibrous begonias. But it looked so great. Yeah. And then also, when I was in theater school, I got to work with the incredible actor John Wright, who has also since passed away. And I only worked or was close to John a few times, but he made a real impact on me because his work was so authentic. Like he always told the truth. Like his character was always telling the truth, or you saw the character's truth. And his garden was like the same. Like it just was this, like his love of gardening was just like this raw, true, unabashed love of it. The space was incredible. Again, I was only in there a few times, but it really made an impact on me. And I know he and his wife Marianne worked so hard on it. So I think of both of those folks, and Bob, and my mom as well. My mom, I just lost my mom, and she loved to garden. Her space was always very joyful, very cheerful, welcoming.
Yeah.
You know, and she wasn't a person who always found it easy to connect with people authentically, especially with us as her family. It was a complicated relationship, but I always felt like the garden was a space where that could happen.
And I think that happens for a lot of people. The garden does become their space. And, you know, even those who don't have the area to plant a garden, where they've started just even with a house plant, you know, and even just one or a plant on their balcony. I think there's just something about nurturing something, right?
Yeah.
Nurturing and caring and watching that just...
And sharing it with others. Like, I remember that from being a kid too. Like the cuttings, except it was, you called it a slip. Can you give me a slip of that?
Yeah.
A slip of that.
Yeah.
Yeah. I have a pothos that was my grandmother's, from my grandmother's plant, like that I got given to me, I'm going to say like 35 years ago.
Yeah.
Some of the same root ball is probably still in that pot, but I just keep putting cuttings back in.
Yeah.
So it's
well, and that's even at the greenhouse or whatever, when people come in, and it's always either the Christmas cactus or the whatever, right? That's been passed down from a great uncle or great grandmother to a grandmother to a wherever. That's pretty amazing. And the Mutt Art here in Edmonton too. So a lot of their collection has been donated. That has really incredible stories with all of those plants. So yeah, it's just fascinating. The stories are endless possibilities, endless possibilities that you can find and tell in the garden.
Yeah,
it's cool.
So people and gardens, intertwining of stories.
Yep.
What more could you ask for,
right?
But it's always so great to talk to you, Jillian, and we said we were going to reflect in the winter, and look, we did it.
Yes, we did. We were going to do it outside. We were going to go check out some winter interests, but it's too darn chilly.
Yeah.
And I really like cuddling here up on the couch with your pets.
Pucky.
And having a good chat. But we are going to go exploring today as well, right? Are you taking me somewhere special today?
Yes, I am.
You know of a hidden little gem.
I do.
Yeah, I'm looking forward to that.
All right.
Okay.
Well, I guess we're done for today. Thank you for watching, and we'll be back with more soon.
Yep.
Happy gardening, everyone.
Happy gardening.
Thank you for joining us. We'll see you again soon. There's more videos on the Twila McLeod channel. Happy gardening.